Audio Jungle.
Welcome to the first episode of the Back to the Bogies podcast in what we hope will be a reoccurring series throughout the 2024 and 2025 season.
Yeah, and we'll be talking all things UCFL about our club, clubs across all the divisions in the UCFL, and we hope to have a couple of the UCFL officials too.
Yeah, with a bit of crack along the way and funny amateur football stories. Garrett and Sean here as your hosts, who will be truly be winging it all along. Yeah.
So we're in the hut in Phibsboro, who've been unbelievable sponsors the last 2 seasons for us, and special shout out for them letting us record upstairs in the hut here today, and a big thanks to Joe and all the staff for the great support.
Yeah, I make sure I can't rave enough about the Guinness here. Honestly, if you're ever around Phibsboro, definitely pop.
So firstly, we're joined by Peter Mulligan, the club chairman and treasurer, and also one of the founding members of the football club. First of all, Peter, great to have you on the podcast.
Cheers for having me.
Yeah, and I can confirm you're not Spanish. Hi,
I'm not
Peter.
Spanish, no.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, you know, a few words of Spanish here and there, a few hola, por favors, but no, I'm Irish. Last 11, you know, life of Phibsboro, but yeah, last 11, man.
Yeah, as the chairman now, there are lots of questions around why we have a Spanish name, but
Cheers, bud. Yeah, no, we have to start off by talking about how the club was found and the name. It's absolutely brilliant. And coaches every team in the UCFL are always wondering.
yeah,
Where
you'd be on the pitch, right? I was playing right wing against, I can't remember what fucking team it was, but every single team, they're like, lads, why the fuck do you have a Spanish name? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Fair point, down.
Talk to us about that. Like, where did that come from?
mostly followed by gobshite or something like that. But that's obviously just tactics, you know. You know how it rolls in the UCFL. But what's the word?
So it's one of those things, right? So we were going for 1 or 2 points after a game of football. We used to play for an LSL team, and we're kind of wondering, you know, maybe might try to set up our own club to go our own sort of route. But we were wondering, right? So I mean, let's be realistic. A lot of these Irish teams are like League of Ireland, big fan League of Ireland, by the way. The Irish national team, we're not doing so hot at the moment. So our logic was, right, so let's try and get ahead of the curve. Let's see what's going on outside of what's inside the Irish footballing pool. We're saying, why don't we have a Spanish name? And instead of going for, like, you know, the Irish players, we get a few South American players in, get some lads from like the Iberian Peninsula. So we're thinking, you know what, let's actually go for a different route. Instead of having like a United, a Celtic, an FC, we're going to go for Club de Fútbol. But actually, lads, on a serious note, that actually wasn't our original name.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, because obviously you talked about this before. Downstairs in the hole, having a couple of points, like, had fucking million names there. So, like, what was on the draft there for a couple of names? Like,
so just for a bit of context, so we set up the club after maybe 7 or 8 points of Smithix, right? So that's when all the ideas started coming together. But like, so we're thinking, right, so we have a name that stands out. So we're thinking, right, we want to have these South American roots, all these players coming through to reach out to us. So the first thing that came to, naturally will come to your mind would be Real Club Deportivo de North Dublin, right? That was the first thing that came to mind after 7 points.
Always, yeah.
So we're thinking, you want to play Real away, you want Deportivo away. But we actually sent that to UCFL. I actually can't believe I put my name next to that. Anyway, but I was like, so we're going to go for Real Club Deportivo de North Dublin. And
just run out with letters or something.
Like, I mean, they can't even spell Phibsboro Club de Fútbol, so like,
we've been asking for fucking months to spell the name right. Like,
stop. Like, even when we put
in to UCFL, like,
I mean, that's absolute legends, lads. Fair play. But like, even when we actually put in the registration for the second season, they spell our name differently and for the first and second team. I was like, that's impressive. Like, even asked them to spell it right, but.
So what is it? Real?
It was Real Club Deportivo de North Dublin. Kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Once you get to the end of it.
So, Peter, the setup is absolutely brilliant, and you must be so proud of, you know, coming into our 3rd season now and being able to form the second team. So talk to us a bit about that. Obviously, it must be very proud for you being the chairman of the club as well. So, like, being able to form a second team after 3 seasons is absolutely massive. You don't see that a lot. The only teams across the UCFL that have second teams are established clubs that have been around for years and years and years. So coming to our third season, you think
It's
about,
incredible.
yeah,
Like it's how do I phrase this? We set up the club there, and like I said, this is our third season, and it's been a bit of a whirlwind of it's been an adventure really. Like things have changed so much. Like we came into the UCFL not knowing much about it, but then we kind of learned on the job and figured things out as we went along. But we kind of realised, unintentionally when we set up Phibsboro Club de Fútbol, that other than Bows, of course, we actually were the only club with a Phibsboro name against it. There's a lot of different Glasnevin teams, like Glasnevin FC, Glasneon, just to name a few. But we realised we're actually the only club based in Phibsboro. And we actually have a large catchment area to draw from.
yeah.
So unintentionally, we have a good setup. And then we realised the more that we have a unique name as well. So I think there's another Spanish team, Atletico Malahide, who are actually quite good. They're based in Premier Division, if not Division 1 this year. I think it's Premier. But it's a unique name. It's like a unique selling point. So we realised we're a Spanish sort of setup, but also we're based in Phibsboro.
So that's the name must have got Carl Shepard in, not the money then.
No, I think so, yeah. Not the name, like you always want to play for Atletico after over. So
that's it. That
must be it.
And just ask, how many Spanish players do we have in the club at the moment?
Well, at the moment, we have 0 Spanish players. It's a work in progress. But a lot of lads said they're interested. But no, we have a Portuguese player. I mean, not to be too bad, but he's a Portuguese player, one of our best goalkeepers in a long time.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So good.
He's ridiculous.
It's
Like,
for
Andres.
Yeah, Andre.
Watch out for Andre this season.
He's on a multi-year contract, so if anyone wants to try
so,
poach him, good luck.
Strong bio clause, like a couple of points. But
It's another thing as well. Like, I've never been part of a club where you just have keeper after keeper. You know, you look at all the other
many
UCFL
keepers.
clubs, they're always at the start of the season looking for keepers. Like, we're just so lucky to be able to get these ridiculous keepers, and you're playing against ridiculous teams. You're playing against really established teams, and they're coming in like, where the hell did you get him from? They should not be in our division. They should be in the Premier Division, you know?
That's mad. Like, I mean, I know actually, I think it was a post from Oldbury not too long ago on Instagram. They're looking for a keeper.
Yeah.
I mean, we have 5.
The buyout costs 500 grand.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, Andre, you're going for at least $500,000, lads, if you want it. Like, but no, we're so lucky for the players that we have, and it's also like it's spread like through word of mouth. Like, everyone's bringing their mates down. Like, we have approximately 50 players in our squad at the moment, but that's us being modest as well. When players maybe are trying to set out, we are some of the second team, but at the same time, we know how big we can get based on our current constraints. But there's no limit to the lads who are interested in joining, and that's a testament to not only the board but also the coaching staff, the managers, and everybody here is actually mates in a fostering and like a welcoming environment. So it's a team effort from everybody, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And that takes me on to my next point. You think about, you can see every new lad that joins, myself included, Garrett, you know, the culture of the club is unbelievable. Something that I've never been part of ever before. So we must be really proud of that. Like, take us through how you built such a good atmosphere in the club.
So it's one of those things really, like I'm quite new to football myself. This is my 3rd season playing football. But like prior to that, I was a bit of a mongrel. I played GA, played a bit of rugby, played Aussie rules, a bit mix of everything really. But this is my 3rd season playing football. But one thing I always kind of found, no matter what sport it is, once you get on well with your fellow teammates inside the dressing room, it's just good camaraderie.
Yeah.
Like really found when I played rugby, it really brings the team together. So we're trying to bring somewhat the culture from rugby, where it's like camaraderie, to the football pitch, which not many clubs may have had. But yeah,
Many big clubs don't have, like, I mean, you can say it happens in every sport when things aren't going right, but you can always sense that on a football pitch, especially at our level down to UCFL, lower divisions that we've obviously have started at. Things get very ratty real quick, so like it's a detriment to what you guys have started. And
yeah, definitely. And you can see that in the quality of the players that we're getting in this season, in our 3rd season as a football club. You know, there's lads that are getting word of mouth off their mates or just being in and around the area of Phibsboro that want to join, that have really good experience at the football club, and they want to be here. They don't care what division you're in. They want to be part of this club because of the culture that's being built.
exactly. And it's one of those things, like I think it's our unique selling point. You know, I chatted to one of our new players, Gabby, who's actually Argentinian, so I mean somewhat Spanish, you put it that way. He kind of said he trained with a few different clubs. He was with Drumcondra seconds, he played for a few different teams,
Right.
but he didn't really find the environment as welcoming as but he came down to us, and he said that's why he stayed. Because it's actually he's 29, 30 years old, and he kind of said, I'm just trying to play a bit of football, enjoy my weekends, and just try and get fit. And realistically, lads, I mean, that's what we're all trying to do. Do you know what I mean? I'd be stunned if one of our players that goes to a top League of Ireland team at this age. You know, we're all probably median age, 27, 28. Like, the lads are enjoying their football, and that's what it's all about. So that's really what the culture is. We make mistakes, we get better the next week. We still play together, we work together. There's never finger pointing. I think that's what Phibs was all about. Was you want to enjoy your football, and when you enjoy your football, you get the best out of each other. So yeah.
And before Garrett asks you the next question, I just want to ask, why the UCFL? Because your options were open to lots of different leagues. Why the UCFL?
It was an interesting one. We did a lot of research in the LSL, the AUL, but we kind of found that the UCFL, based on its culture and its history, and the fact that like it was constrained to like, you know, the Dublin area, it kind of suited where we were setting up. And it's also, we played a couple of guys playing for an LSL team. Yeah. We played a couple of friendlies against UCFL teams. You know, against St. Columban's, and we got a good camaraderie going with them, and we kind of thought it was probably a good fit for our club. Yeah. And also, the UCFL, once I had an introductory meeting, I did one with the AUL as well, but the UCFL gave me good vibes in terms of, it felt like a welcoming atmosphere. Still trying to grow the league, but they're promoting grassroots football. And I thought the people that I met, whether it was Pork Trainer, Noel, all the people there, Seamus, they were just very welcoming, and they really made this process very simple setup once we had our structures in place. So I can't thank them enough, really.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been absolutely excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's absolutely fucking brilliant to hear. But to nooks and crannies, the tough part of the job, you know, being the chair and being a treasurer, like, must be quite difficult, you know, in the sense that, you know, you're chasing people for money and, you know, trying to make people fit into kind of, you know, the installments that you kind of set up, and you're trying to facilitate each individual that you find at the football club. I'm not paying. Literally though, how do you see, like, I don't know, how do you manage that with, you know, obviously you must be a busy man outside of football, and I mean, I mean, that's a long way to put it. No, I do a bit of casual work on the side with Bows as well, and our finance team. I'm an accountant, so money is like part and parcel of what I do most days. But it's an interesting one. Like, what we try and do at Phibsboro is try and set like the lowest possible cost to avail of good facilities, have all the equipment that we possibly need. But we do tailor that we do have different demographics. Lads coming from different areas. Some lads are still students. Some lads may be like working in the high tech industries. But at the same time, no matter who they are, it's universal. We keep the money as low as possible. I mean, I've chatted to a few different clubs when we were at the Mansion House to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the UCFL. And for the clubs I did talk to, we were the cheapest. So we try and maintain the cheapest possible selling point. And it is tough, but at the same time, you realise, give lads a discrepancy in terms of, might be the following week, they're a bit late with payments, something came up. We understand that. But it's also really ingrained the mentality that, like, it's not just you're paying me, or you're skipping out and paying the club, you're skipping out and paying the friends, all the boys. Like, this, like, we're all chipping into this together. We have a great sponsorship with the Hut, but there is like still room for like trying to get the costs down even further. So realistically, our goal is to provide football regularly, twice, not 3 times a week, and a match for the lowest possible cost. You know, that's what we want to do. And if we keep continuing to progress and hopefully win some silverware, unreal. But it's just cheap and affordable football. It's expensive out there. That's what we want to do. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I can't speak highly enough of, like, even just having like a board, because that's what we have, you know. We have Peter, Phelan, Rory there.
He's just a bloke.
Well, the support is unbelievable. Yeah, that's it. But the support is unbelievable. Like, you think about different clubs. You think about Owen's New Manders being part of other clubs that didn't have that, where you had to do the subs, you had to do absolutely everything. Having that support, you can see it on the pitch, because you don't have to the players and the managers and coaches don't have to focus on all that stuff in the background.
Exactly.
It's so well run that all they have to do is focus on enjoying themselves during the week and winning on the match. So yeah, Peter.
No, it's an interesting one just to jump in on that. Because I mean, I was chatting to a few different clubs at the Mansion House, and for example, somebody might be running the social media, the manager, the chairman. They're actually they're centralizing all the roles. But we kind of realize, you know, it's very cliched, but like, many hands make light work. So we realize we have a board of 3 members. We have a coach and a team of 4 different coaches. We've captains, player leadership groups. We have a number of different subcommittees. Yeah. And just really builds in. It might sound like a lot of work, because I mean, for anyone who's listening to the podcast, it might sound like that, but we have so many hands, so many people getting involved. It really isn't that bad. So it's just spreading the work amongst so many hands, and it works. Yeah.
And I just said, like, people work in like high tech jobs and are always away with work, and people are going away with their misses. You know, like, you're always missing out. Like, you know, like, you're not always there. But these people that are part of these kind of, you know, relationships and part of these jobs aren't contributing. So
Exactly.
yeah, and it's absolutely just stellar work that you guys have kind of put in place. Yeah.
But it's one of those things that we're all paying the same amount, no matter how good you are as a player, no matter how often you are there or aren't there. So it's really trying to embed the mentality, like, it's our club. It's not an individual's club, like, or he's the best player in the team, great. But it's really bringing the club together as we are one unit. And that's really going to be resonate with our first and second team. So that's what we're trying to build. It's the culture, it's the community, and it's Phibsboro Club de Fútbol. Yeah.
Yeah, well said, Peter, and perfect note to end it on. So, listen, we'll see you during the season on the podcast, a couple of different episodes. Hopefully, you get a couple of more different people.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
Hopefully, we get a couple of more chairmans in as well, with different clubs as well, and you can, you know, bat heads against each other.
You can compare your little Revolut accounts.
Show off together and stuff like that. But listen,
show the spreadsheets.
Yeah,
lads, once again, like, just send it up, like, fair play just for doing this. I think it's a great initiative, and, like, thanks so much for having me on. Like, really appreciate it.
No, thanks a million, Peter.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, we'll see you during the season. Thanks a million.
Thank you.
Okay, so then we're also joined by another founder, who again is not Spanish, but I couldn't tell you where his first name is from either. It's Phelim Nian.
It isn't.
Okay.
Our ex-club secretary and newly converted striker after moaning all season at centre-back. Hi, Phelim.
Moaning all. I love playing centre back.
It's moaning this season now.
Moaning this season. You get it wrong. I was moaning this season playing striker.
It's all coming out in the first episode of the podcast.
Just like, no, Alan's going to kill me.
Right, yeah. Right, yeah.
Right, so Phelim, obviously you were the secretary the last two seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a bit more about that. Like the UCFL meetings that you went to each month, registering players, the admin work. Obviously it's a big commitment, so did you enjoy it? And how you find it now after taking a step back?
Well, it was just Rory, Peter and I when we founded the club, and we pretty much went from square one. We didn't really know what was ahead of us. So it was a learning process definitely for a while. I mean, a lot's changed even in the second season. Things changed. We used to have to do all of our registrations physically, print it off, fill it in individually. Now it's been automated more now and stuff like that. But we learned a lot very quickly, and the UCFL, in all fairness, they have been very good help. So yeah, we've learned a lot and enjoyed every minute of it. It hasn't been easy all the time, not gonna lie, but yeah, it's been enjoyable so far. And as my successor, I'm sure you'll bring us to new heights.
Yeah, I don't know what you're moaning about, to be honest. Like, it's very fucking...
I wasn't moaning.
Shout out to UCFL though for digitalising things, you know, making Sean's life easier. You know,
I know, yeah,
you had
absolutely.
I know.
I remember when I started, you were there giving us forms, fucking all writing them out.
Yeah,
with a bookie pen.
Yeah. So, yeah, it must have been a lot of work, obviously, doing all that. And so, fair play to it.
Thank you.
I'm glad to be your successor. So, Phelim, obviously co-founder of the football club. You think back to the start when yourself, Rory and Peter found the club. No manager in place at the moment. You took the reins for a while. You think back to Albert College when your first couple of training sessions, just a couple of bibs, a couple of lads messing around, I suppose. You had the likes of Donald Glennon, Brogue and his mates, Brogue Kennedy and Conor Legan. So to talk to me about that, the start, and before, obviously I took over as the manager and had a massive shit show, losing 6 games in a row. But talk to us about what was that like being the manager, I suppose.
Well, yeah, at the start, obviously, we were just trying to get players down. I think we had like maybe 14, 15 lads at the first session. Fair play to the lads who reach out to their mates and stuff like that to get their mates down. And yeah, when we started training in Albert College, you know, it wasn't like, you know, I obviously took over as manager just because nobody else kind of wanted to, or we
Someone had
didn't
to
know,
do it.
like,
Yeah.
couldn't recruit somebody.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously the season started well. We got 3 wins in a row, and then we lost.
But that's
One.
it. Like, you took over 3 wins in a row. Talk about
Well,
that as
well,
manager.
in all
You have
fairness,
one- you have 100% record as manager.
Yeah, would you not have been keen to keep the win streak going, or?
Well, I mean, you have to bear in mind, like, we did have a few preseason friendlies, and
Right.
they didn't go very well. We
And
were
that
still
was
learning.
that was the
stuff.
UCFL tournament.
Yeah, the David Blood Memorial tournament.
Yeah.
We lost every game, but we learned a lot. So going into our first 3 matches, you know, we understood what would work and what wouldn't work. I mean, it wasn't just me, it was a group effort. We had some really great lads down. Brian Glennon and Burrow, for example, really good leaders, played a lot. Peter's obviously very good as well, leader on the pitch. And I don't know, I think after the 3 preseason defeats, when the league actually started, we just knew that we'd never wanted to feel that again after getting beaten. So everyone just came together that day. I remembered it was Riverside, I believe, away from home. And we won 1-0. I think it was Graham Hoey or Luke Webb who crossed it in. It was an own goal. He'll claim it, but, you know.
Oh, Granwell.
Yeah,
fucking
probably
claimed
not.
that.
One of them will.
Why not? But yeah, we were unified that match and we really wanted to win. And then we just kept that going. And as the season progressed, we got more and more lads down and we just improved. And then Sean took over and we lost a lot. And
It's true.
No.
Like, look, I'll throw my arms.
No, it's fine.
We lost 6-1 probably 6 games in a row, but we were.
No, I was only
brilliant.
joking. I was joking.
No, we literally lost 6 games.
It's okay because he tried something new and eventually, you know, it worked. And then the second season, the season just passed, we had a very good season under your leadership and we got to a cup final. So that says a lot. So that transition period might have been a bit difficult, but yeah, we were only on the up. So well done, Sean.
No, well done to you. You have
Thank
100% record. I don't.
Well done,
That's the
Gareth.
difference.
Yeah, too, look, setting the tone.
Yeah.
Paved the way for, our most successful manager to date, and he will be obviously overrun by the next one.
In club history, eventually.
Club history.
Well, I actually don't. I want to win trophies. But Faden, obviously part of the club now, coming into the 3rd season, played centre back last 2 seasons, starting as a striker. Talk to us a little bit about that, I suppose. Being a striker, very different for you.
Well, in all fairness, you did play me up front once or twice.
Actually,
in
no,
the
Gar
first
got
season.
you 2 assists.
And Gareth
We lost
got me
6.
2 assists,
We lost
actually.
6-2 one game, and Gar was playing right mid.
I think
2
Sean
beautiful crosses.
was so annoyed at half time.
Yeah.
We were down 5-0. He's just like, "Oh, Phelan, just go up fucking front."
I was
Like,
so
turn up
annoyed,
front.
that I kicked the ball
And then nearly hit
and
James
nearly hit
Alexander
James
in the
Alexander
face.
in the fucking face.
I never thought I'd see the
And-
hairdryer treatment in person, but yeah, the
Yeah.
fucking
Thank God
the
Sean
boot,
didn't see.
the boot came out, and
Sean
Little
didn't see
took
me
out
and
one
James just laughing our fucking heads off, but because he was so furious at halftime. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Remember it
scary.
well. Remember it well. He's not scary, but
That was a scary man. But yeah,
makes you want to score goals, so doesn't it? Just
true.
Yeah.
And I played up front underage, like all the way up, and then
Well, you're 6'5".
I know.
Like,
Well,
it's
again,
very easy to
I'm
play.
6'5".
Actually, let's
It's very easy to play up
let's-
top in the UCFL for 6'5".
You'd think that I could head the ball,
Let's
but no.
let-
All right, so
let's-
Well,
let's-
that's
just because
also
I'm
a journey
6'5".
that you went through, because he couldn't hit the fucking ball when I took over as manager.
I'd honestly rather turn
He couldn't
around
use
and
the centre back. Couldn't hit the ball. We teach him how to hit the ball. Best centre back in the fucking league.
But let's start to let's go back to the very start. Phelan, what age did you have your growth spurt?
I don't know. I think
He came out 6'1".
yeah, I kind of
Full head of hair and teeth.
right. No, I don't know. I remember when I was 15, people started saying, "Jesus, you're fucking tall." I was like, "Yeah." That's about it. Yeah. So I suppose over the summer of second year, going into third, I sort of went straight up, and developed into this.
Nice for some. My backpack when I was in first year in secondary school was bigger than my torso.
It's all
So
right.
yeah, if anyone.
Your growth spurt hasn't come yet.
Here, look, one singular back.
You can't rush a growth spurt.
You can't.
That's
And here,
crap.
look, one singular heavy maths book. Someone pulls the handle backwards.
Oh, it's hilarious. Almost as funny as bagging.
Let the record show it's hilarious, but painful.
Yes.
Tim, I
You're
reckon
12 years old.
with all the training that you're doing, 29 is your age.
This is it.
You're going to go up.
This is it. Growth
This is
spurt.
it.
So, Phelan, was an absolute honour hearing your insights and your
Thanks for having me.
little origin story to how you got Phibsboro Club de Fútbol go.
And Fed, just before you go, you going to be the secretary next season?
No, I won't be the secretary for next season.
If the UCFL bring back the forms and the bookie pens, he might.
He's your man.
Oh, we're on.
He's your man.
Yeah.
It's too odd, mate, for me.
No, Sean is too good a secretary, all right?
Fed doesn't know how to use a computer. That's what.
Yeah, I don't know how to use a
Actual
computer.
things.
I had to resign.
a bit of this kind of form.
You got
Yeah.
way too well with technology.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, man.
Thank you so much,
thanks a million.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It's an honour of my life.
So we're joined here by our new manager, who I've no doubt to take us to great success this season, Owen Farrell. Hi, Owen.
What's up, Sean? What's up, Gareth? How are we getting on?
Good. So, Owen, coming in as the new gaffer with the experience you have from managing other teams, how does it compose or compare?
I don't know. The last gaffer didn't set the bar overly high. Like, so Sean used to be our manager like before this. So, once you go out and throw out a few cones here and there, you're already better than him. So that's a good start right there. We also come up with tactics. Like, I think Sean just like took them based on whatever United were using at the weekend, and then like you just go from there. So now we actually have some little bit of a structure towards us then too.
For now. Listen, you've taken the pre-season by storm, and we've added so much quality to the squad. You must be really excited for the season ahead. So, what's your expectations for this season? Obviously, coming in now. Last season we only had one team, finished 12th. Gareth missed a fucking absolute sitter in the final to take that pen out.
I'll take the hit for that one, yeah.
Gareth is here. How did the penalty shootout go, Sean?
Yeah, that's it. Like, Gar missed that last cano. So, anyway, that's for another episode.
You have to be on the pitch to take a pen off us.
Well, anyway, so what do you think are they, for you now, there's 32 players down training tonight, over 40 altogether in the squad, 2 teams coming in now, a lot of quality. So for you as the gaffer, what are your expectations now for the teams this season?
Yeah, so like as I said, we have 2 teams this year, which is a first for the club. Like, I've been with the club since day one, so it's amazing to see it going from like our first session when we had someone behind me taking the session, and then, like, to say he didn't know what he was doing is an understatement. So to go from that, when you had lads who weren't able to kick the ball and stuff like that, to now being up at the quality that we have, like, is class. I think our first team, we're going to be in 3A this year, which is going to be our first time in there. And I'd say we're well in contention for promotion places anyway then as well. I think last year we put a good run together in the Shield. And I think we really started to peak towards the end of the season. So, like, I think in fairness to you, that is actually a good standard to try and build off of. And so hopefully then we can kick on and then go on to another level then from there. I'd like us to win silverware. Last year, getting to that final, going up against Old Bawn, very strong Old Bawn team who are going to Division 3 this year, so they're even going a division further ahead of us. And taking them to penalties, like, it was amazing. Everyone scored their penalty in the shootout, apart from one person.
Garrick.
So yeah, Sean missed his penalty. He was the first one, so that was nice. So hopefully we'll get a bit further with them. Second team, they're going to be in 3B. So I think it's important to just get a lot of lads minutes, go out there and try and just learn how to play together, learn how to develop as a team, and so that they can help them improve. And hopefully we can get up there towards, I think a mid-table finish would be decent for the second team then as well, so that can be something to aim for and then build on then towards next season. So I think it's a building year for them, and then hopefully for the first team we can go up there and we can challenge for promotion.
Yeah, brilliant. There's loads of competition. Lads are all ready to go, so hopefully it'll be a good season for us.
No, I wouldn't say we're ready to go just yet. Maybe a couple more training sessions, then we can get going.
Yeah, get rid of them sprints. So listen on, coming in as new gaffer, obviously you have experience in your pocket there with managing different teams. So tell us a bit more about how it compares to other teams and what's different at Phibsboro Club de Fútbol. Talks a little bit about the culture. Like you see the lads there that come in, even new lads, nearly 20 new lads after coming in this season. They're all bought in straight into the culture and the lads that are there. So talk to us a little bit about your experience before and how that kind of compares to what you're dealing with now, I suppose.
You really have to put that out in the world, the past experience. Like Phibsboro is amazing. Like from the moment that the club was founded, it was all based on sound lads being down, and that you go down and you actually enjoy playing football and you actually enjoy being around all of the lads then as well. And I think as I said, like 20 new lads this year, all of them slotted in and they've all been perfect then as well. Like all good lads, all just down there having a laugh, want to go in, want to work as a team, and want to help make things better then as well. And you compare that to some of my other teams, and that was not quite the story. Like in some other teams, there was a lot of infighting. There was a lot of cliques that kind of developed between the team, and then lads be moaning and bitching about other people then as well, which was, it was kind of shit. And it just made it miserable for all the players to be involved, for me to be involved, and everything like that. But no, look, now everyone's positive, everyone's bought in, everyone's happy. They all want to learn, they all want to improve then as well. And you can't buy that for any type of club. So it's class.
I think for myself, first and foremost, I stopped playing football once I turned 18. So, that's until I came back a couple of years ago. At 7 years out playing football, maybe a little five-a-side here and there. But coming into that kind of atmosphere and that encouragement after being a bit of a dusty baller for about 7 years, it's kind of a bit difficult to get back into it. And say if you're in a toxic kind of community within a football team, it's difficult to get back into it and push people back when they actually do want to get back playing football. So yeah, I mean, I can only add to further what Owen said.
Yeah, I mean, there's not mercy when you're playing in the team, and there's a lot of that's your fault. You let us down. Yeah. I know we're joking about your penalty miss and all that. We'll stay joking about that. But that's fine because we're joking about it. Whereas a lot of other people no, you messed up, you let us down and everything like that. And that's horrible. And even we have certain players who've joined our team this year who are 19, 20, they're only kids. And then this is their first time playing with adults. And, we all gather around them and oh, come on, we'll go again. You get the next one. Whereas I've had a lot of other teams who be no, you fucked up. You let us down.
Yeah, you're not good enough.
Yeah, which just kills any sort of fun that it is. At the end of the day, amateur football is a hobby. You're going out and doing it because you love the game, you want to go out and play and you want to improve. And that's the whole point of it. So you have to kind of create the atmosphere that people want to go and improve and aren't afraid of making mistakes then as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well said.
We definitely have that here, Phibsboro. So, thanks a million, Alan. And sure, look, we'll be chatting to you more during the season. Hopefully you come on to a couple of more episodes, maybe with other managers after we play them.
Post-win points, hopefully.
How that goes. Hopefully win a few games.
We'll be doing that, right?
All right, thanks a million, Alan.
Right, good luck, boys.
So we have our first voice caller, or that's to say our first voice note of the podcast.
Okay.
Harold, he's got a shout out during the pod. So yeah, let me introduce you to Donald Glennon.
Hi guys, big fan of the podcast, long time listener, first time voice noter. Just have a question, two questions. First question, what inspired you guys to call the club Real Club Deportivo de North Dublin. Sorry, Phibsboro Club de Fútbol. Where did you get your motive to start the club from? Second question is directed at Rory. Just a question as to what it's like being the shortest member of the board.
Nice. Okay, so we have our first voice caller there. We definitely answered the first question with Peter and Phelan, but I think it's time to introduce our third board member, Rory Devlin. So Rory, we had a first voice caller, okay, and he wants to know why was the club called, well, as you went through names, as Peter went through, Real Deportivo Football Club, the Club de Fútbol, the whatever the fuck it is.
Shout out John for USFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's John? John's in the house somewhere.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about that.
I suppose to provide a bit of backstory, I think Peter said we were just after a game of football, and we ended up in another pub in Phibsboro, and I think it was the Liverpool Man City in one of the Carabao Cup finals. What was it, 2021, 2022, whatever it was?
Potsy game at the penalty.
Standard, lads, few lads drinking, few too many pints, ideas start, spurring all over the shop, it's typical, we're going to buy a pub kind of story.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, lads, why don't we found our own football club, see what happens, go from there. So lo and behold, we got a children's kind of drawing because we needed something to write on, and started writing down ideas. Off the top of my head, I could think maybe the words like Inter was written down there, as I said, Deportivo, any kind of random, let's say Hispanic, Central European, Mediterranean word that matched with a football club.
What was the name though you wanted?
I loved the whole Real Club Deportivo de North Dublin purely because of the abbreviation of RCDND. Purely because of the abbreviation. And obviously the Real Club thing was like some sort of Spanish kings kind of, how would you say, like Real Madrid are called that because the Spanish king named them that, and same with some other clubs. But I'm not saying, as Peter pointed out, we're not a very Spanish club as much as the name states, but
Unless
we had
Spanish listeners out there that
Yeah.
want to join the
Down for the
pre-season
club,
is
down
still
for the
on,
club.
we'll take you on.
But in terms of the name itself, as Peter said, it got rejected, so we went back to the drawing board and got that. But just touching back on the story, there was a waitress at the bar we were doing it in who was fairly intrigued in what we were actually trying to put together. And she comes over and says, "Oh, Jesus, lads, what he's doing?" I mean, I just kind of looked at her and was like, "I just found like making our own football club." And the look of disgust on her face, they kind of just walked off and they didn't come
She
back to the rest of
reminded
the
me
night.
of her ex-boyfriend that fucking play FIFA 12 hours a day.
Nah,
Pretty-
probably 10-year-old little brother, probably.
Yeah.
the most shocking
I've
comparison you can get of all time.
never seen like so much disappointment on someone's face. Like, oh, we're just making our own football club here. Like, sound for that. But that's where the club name came from. There's no specific reason, but it's worked out for the best. I think PCF is here to stay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I reckon there's, to be fair, to a lot of UCFL clubs, maybe ours is a bit more modern, but I reckon a lot of those clubs started in, a pub or a little clubhouse somewhere.
Yeah, that's the best part about it. Like, you talk to us there, whatever it was, grabbing a little bit of scrap paper or napkin or something like that.
Still have it
It's
somewhere.
exactly where-
Balaam has it, does he?
Frame.
Balaam has it
Is
at home.
it? Do you
somewhere.
actually have it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Constitution.
Well, that needs to be fucking framed.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. And yeah, love that. Absolutely.
So the thing is, like, if one of us didn't want to come out that night, oh, lads, I don't fancy 3 points,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be
none of
sitting here doing this podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank God.
Actually, another thing is obviously social media is something that we want to really drive. You're part of that team. Your social
I'm the only member of that
Yeah,
team.
you're
Oh,
only-
sorry.
What?
I'm the only member of the
You
team.
do a lot of work
As
now,
of the last 2
uploading
years,
TikToks
I
as
have
well.
this man to my right here now is my second hand man. He's doing a
Yeah.
great job at the moment.
Here, look. It's all about them impressions, all about them hashtags.
Yeah.
Hashtag football.
TikTok is
Football.
Yeah. We have a lot of Spanish drive, but we've not Spanish players.
No.
Okay.
How about we mix it up to Latinos? Because I think we have a couple of Latinos now.
We got Latinos on their Tinder.
They're Latinas.
Second question, Rory, was from Donald. Unfortunately, we have to ask
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
because
we
no
have to
matter
address.
what's sent in, we'll always answer the question.
Absolutely.
That's true,
So
actually.
listen, if you're one of the listeners here, you're not part of the UCFL and you just want to listen in, comment on our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, any questions, promise you. Well,
We have a Twitter now, by the way.
Well-
We have one follower. It's me.
I must reassure that we will not answer every question, because if you answer every question, good luck.
every question. I promise.
Good luck.
I promise. That's my guarantee.
Finished.
So, listen, the question that Donald asked was, what's it feel like? I can't believe I had to ask this question. To be the shortest member of the board.
Of the board, is that what you said? I thought you said of the team.
Board.
He said the board.
He
Oh,
said,
the board. The board's difficult.
it is difficult. You're going against fucking 6'5" and 6'3". Like,
Yeah, look, I wasn't blessed with the height change. What more can I say? All I can say is I know I'm taller than Donald, so there's not an issue there.
Well, he's built like a baby with
Yeah,
no,
literally, baby.
I literally no hair like below his, let's just say, running. Like I say, just like from here down, just nothing, bald. So, ladies, watch out. But
You know a bit too much, Gar.
fortunately, went on lads. I'll
Unfortunately, myself and Garrett went away with Donald, and yeah, we seen that.
So was Donald the shortest man on that trip?
Oh God, yeah. He was asking birds for uppies.
Yeah,
Uppies.
yeah.
Search
Donald,
it on Twitter if you haven't understand.
Donald
Just
probably-
search uppies
yeah.
on Twitter.
You'd be a short man
100%.
anywhere in the world.
he will be.
That fella.
The question that Rory got asked, it stinks of.
Oh, there's a 6'4" and there's a 6'5" fella.
I think
Yeah.
he could be a bit jealous.
No, I can't compete with this. If I speak, I can't compete.
I don't want to be, letting out information on poor old Donald, but yeah, he's not sturdy, tall boy.
No, he absolutely isn't. All right.
Look,
So,
Donald,
listen-
thanks for the question.
Thanks for the question, Donald. Yeah, and more questions, fucking let them come in, and I promise you, we'll answer every single one.
We won't.
We absolutely will. Final question, Rory. Social media manager, where do you want the club to be in the next couple of months, next year? Obviously, we have 2 teams now, a lot more work to do, a lot more pictures to be taken, a lot more content to be taken. We have the podcast coming in now. Like, you're driving all this now. Me and Gareth are lucky enough to be hosting this podcast, but where do you see the club in the next couple of months? Where do you want it to be in terms of the social media account?
I suppose it's always good to put high expectations. And if you fall short, that's fine. Obviously the club has slowly built up its presence online on social media over the multiple platforms. I know we only launched a TikTok a few months ago, and to be fair, that's doing pretty well with the views and so on.
Yeah.
It's hard to pinpoint because obviously the UCFL is such, in terms of UCFL overall, such a kind of close-knit family.
Yeah.
It's difficult to branch out of that and to kind of burst that net, I suppose. But we're hoping with this podcast, with more match day content, with more, I suppose, midweek content when football isn't happening, we can kind of get through that, because at times, I'm not saying this in a bad way, but at times a lot of the UCFL content in terms of clubs is, results, fixtures, that type of thing. That's great. It's great to see that the teams have an online presence, but can we do better than that? Can we expand it out a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely.
Choose our
And
horizons.
you're driving that. There's different clubs across the UCFL that are doing their podcasts as well. Hopefully we can get them on as well. Obviously we have a couple of them lined up too. So yeah, now Rory doing an absolute stellar job. Thanks a million for joining us today. And I'm sure, Rory's going to be sitting there behind the computer every single week. So don't be surprised if he's going to be a random guest appearance every time.
Not too much. I don't want too many more questions from Donald.
Yeah, Rory, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast today. Obviously, you're going to be sitting there behind the computer every single week, get you on a bit more, but all the work that you're doing, like, this wouldn't be anything at all. Like, the 3rd season in, having all these social media accounts, having a podcast is just even ridiculous. So, Fair play to you. And hopefully we have you now on Phibsboro Podcast throughout the season.
Yeah, just to even add to that, like, I mean, certainly drives to the players that we get down, that we have, like, the numbers, the second team, like, Facebook, we always hear it, Instagram, I see this, yeah.
We're going to be in every division of fucking UCFL next season.
Jesus Christ. We'll go with the second team this season, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, absolutely, Rory.
Yeah, thanks for having me, lads. Onwards and upwards.
So that brings us to the end of the episode 1 of Phibsboro Club de Fútbol. Back to the Bogies Podcast. Absolutely been brilliant. I think just tell about our story and what we're about and so on. Have a bit of crack about it as well. So yeah, listen, to all five of our listeners out there, thank you so much for staying tuned, and hopefully we'll have you back again. And there's so much more to come. We have so many ideas and guests that are going to be coming on across the UCFL. So yeah, absolutely stay tuned.
Yeah, and even to add to that, so the important part, the selling point. If you are interested in joining the UCFL and joining it, great bunch of lads that are really supportive, really encouraging football team down in Phibsboro. If you're local, come on down. It'd be fucking one of the better decisions of your life. Keeping fit as well, like that, and we're always looking for more numbers. And again, just got to say thanks again to Joe here at the Hut and all the sponsorships. And again, if there's any more sponsorships that are there open or interested, please slide into our DMs on all social media platforms. And furthermore to that, if there's any clubs that are interested in coming on to talking about their experience or anything like that, please also slide into the DMs. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. See you in the next episode.